Welcome, everyone. We're here again this Success Story Wednesday to put a highlight on one of our members. And I'm really pleased to I'll go by her official moniker as Elizabeth-Ann-Thompson, writer extraordinaire, shall we say. But Liz is just a fabulous lady, and she just really has a really important mission and vision to share with the world. And we're so happy to welcome you here, Liz.
Mhm. Thank you. We've chatted for a few minutes before this, and it's just been a lot of fun just already chatting about things. And yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, no, welcome, welcome. So Liz, why don't you start us off and share a little bit about, you said you've had three careers, you told us, so maybe
Yeah.
share with everybody a little bit about those three careers and maybe the thread that kind of, the commonality between all those things, which were really quite different, but really yet all the same.
Hmm hmm Yeah. Well, I started out in my 20s pursuing a career in medical assisting. So um, I went to school and became a medical assistant and did that for a few years, and that was the beginning of working with people and working with patients and doctors and nurses and just working with a lot of people and connections and getting patients to the right place and um, just that um, just just somehow I gravitated to that. My mom was a nurse. I think I liked hearing about her stories and what she did as a nurse. So I gravitated to that, and I did that for a few years, and then I wanted to move on and do something different. So I went back to school and I became a clinical social worker, and then I had my own practice eventually and worked with children and families and actually became a registered play therapist. So I did a lot of play therapy with children and parents and a lot of adopted kids and grandparents raising grandchildren. And so, again, there was that thread of working with people, relationships, difficulties. There were a lot of difficulties. Um, and, and I did that for quite a few years, actually. And just in the last few years, actually since the pandemic started, I really hit it heavy as far as writing. And one of the things I've always done is I've always written creatively. Even as a little kid, I've always enjoyed stories of people and just in animals. And and I always had a book in my hand, all the way back from Dr. Seuss, those stories, and Captain Kangaroo, all those different, people and books and stories that children in those days looked towards. And so I began writing books, and I've published one called Unforgotten Dreams, and then now I'm about ready to publish the second of that trilogy, which the theme throughout is dreams. The second book is Secret Dreams, and there's that common thread of working with people and relationships um, and just loving that creative aspect of it, but also really enjoying the stories of people's lives
Mhm.
and what they go through, their struggles, and just knowing that they can make it through to the other side, whatever that looks like, the other side of that struggle. So, and one day, this is probably 15 years ago, I was lifting weights in a gym, and I actually hate lifting weights in gyms, um, but somehow this inspiration came across me, and I just thought, wow, I just really want to help people. It's so important for people to use and develop what they've been born with, whether God or spirit or however they want to look at that, what they've been born with, what they've been gifted with. And by sharing that dream and fulfilling that, just what's within us that we're really talented, gifted in, just to use that. And then in turn, that really helps other people. And so
Mhm.
somehow there's a loss for other people if we never use those gifts, because then people don't get, you know, they don't get kind of the after effect of us developing those gifts. And then it gets lost. And then by the end of our life, if we haven't used that gift, it's not shared. And so people miss out. So, and there's many types of gifts. You know, as we were talking a little bit earlier, you know, plumbers, if you're a gifted plumber, that's just an amazing thing to be, you know, to have that skill and to help people with that skill and talent, because people need plumbers, you know. And you know, if you're a dental hygienist, people need to have their teeth taken care of, or if you're an artist or a musician, we need beauty in our lives. So there's just so many things. So everybody has a gift or gifts to share with the world. And so I just feel really passionate about doing that. And then also passionate about writing my books, which also have that theme of pursuing your dreams, along with, you know, the romance and the relationships and just all the wonderful things that, you know, writing about relationships can bring about. So, so yeah, that's kind of been my path.
Yeah, so it's really is amazing. And as you're speaking, you know, I can just hear the passion that you have for what, you know, your mission and vision is for, you know, really reminding people to tap into their creativity and exploring that and whatever that may be, and sharing that with the world. And whether it's creativity or something else, as you're saying, with through your writing, etc., you know, it's like that expression that people mention, and it's so true, is that sometimes you can hear the same thing 100 times, and you just need that one person to say it your way, that it's suddenly you get the aha moment. Well, say I sound like Oprah. The aha moment. Go, oh, I hear that now. I understand that now. At some level, you it resonates with you, and that, you know, it comes into being. And I just think it is awesome to encourage people to pursue their dreams. Because, you know, it's our gift that we've been given, whatever that may be, or gifts that to share with the world. And you know, it's just you're right, it would be a very sad thing not to share those wonderful gifts with people. And yeah, I really love that, and your connectedness, as much as the professions might seem different. You know, that tying in of the humanness, the relationships, the emotion, the fact that we all go through these things. And you know, in fact, Jan and I were speaking to that just before we got on with you, about, like, you know, hey, you know, you know, we all go through those things, and sometimes we feel very alone. And sometimes just realizing, whether it's through your writing or whatever, but you know, that we suddenly realize, oh, maybe I'm not alone in this. You know, I am human, and I'm allowed to feel these things. And what say you, Jan?
Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Liz. It was beautiful. And, you know, I think what was so striking to me is, first of all, I love the fact that you like basically use story. And I think stories are really powerful as far as people getting messages. I think we learn by stories. People remember stories. They don't necessarily remember facts. I think they're really good at instilling those emotions and those touching people on a deeper level about a topic. And so the idea to me of, you know, helping people to pursue their dreams through a story, which you know, has so much a greater effect than kind of going out and talking about it with someone and saying, well, you know, you really need to pursue your dreams.
Yeah.
And it's too abstract, and people,
Yeah.
it doesn't land anywhere. Where if you have the ability to share a story around it, or create a story like you do in your books around it, then all of a sudden, because people can envision themselves in that place, like, and so it starts to land somewhere. And I think if that's the message, to me, that's so beautiful, because then people start to think about, like, reflect and say, oh, okay, well, maybe I could do that. Or maybe I should look at it and pursue my, you know, my dream to do whatever it is,
Yeah.
you know, my dream to, you know, create my friend's husband, decided that he was going to create this whole huge rock landscape garden. I mean, it's spectacular. And he's worked for years, but this idea of like, oh, I'm going to go out and create this,
Mm.
rock wall fountain thing, which is not meant to, I mean, it's meant to last forever, like this legacy that he's going to leave a part of himself. So to me, that storytelling part of it, like
Mhm.
in a book, is so meaningful and powerful, as opposed to just starting to, trying to relay a message.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and people, I think there's passion behind people's gifts. So I think, or I believe that if someone has a gift, they're also born with passion about it. Like that sort of goes hand in hand.
Yes.
Um, because usually, it can be hard to follow your dream and it can be hard to pursue your dream, whatever that might be. I mean, typically it is hard. Let's just say it is hard. And so, but there's that passion, I think, that drives it, that drives you, that keeps you going. That you love it. You love some aspect of it. I mean, there's hard parts of writing. There's parts of it that are just so difficult, but there's still that passion that keeps me going, that keeps me writing. It's you'd think I'd be tired of it by now, but I've got more stories that I want to tell. So yeah, it's or we've just passed the Olympics and watching those athletes, and oh my word, the things that they had to do and the hardships. I'm sure it wasn't all easy. I'm sure it wasn't all fun. Um, but just to keep going, that they would have a passion to keep them going. So yeah, I think they go hand in hand.
They
Yeah,
absolutely do.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think I think that, if you pursue that passion, first of all, it gives you a purpose. Like, it's so related to purpose and having whatever your purpose is. And that passion, and if you can develop or you have a purpose around your gift, then that involves your gift. Like, then it's kind of, it's almost like a 3-tier, like a triangle. You have the passion, the purpose, and the gift, and it's just almost like self-perpetuating. Like, it just one feeds the other, so it becomes cyclical in nature.
Yeah, and it keeps growing. I think, you know, I mean, the passion to learn too, to learn my art, to learn about writing. I mean, I don't ever want to stop learning. I want to keep getting better and better and just keep growing, which I think that's part of it too. It kind of keeps it alive. I mean, to see how I am now versus maybe 5 years ago, well, I'm better now. So hopefully in 5 years, I'll be better. I mean, yeah, and just more, I don't know, evolved or developed um, in writing, and just like any art, a musician or painter or whatever it is, to just keep evolving. I think that helps with the, growing and like you say, your purpose.
It's so true. And I think you're doing a valuable service for people, sharing those emotions, sharing those experiences in story. And I agree with Jan, the stories stick. They really do, because those are the things that people really can resonate with when they realize, when, like, as I was saying, when we realize, oh, I'm not alone in this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the importance of community, and that's the sense of what we would like to build here, is to have people share what they do, and and just to have a better understanding, and just understanding where there's so much out there in the world that's beautiful, and that we really should be pursuing for sure. And but Liz, I know that you're involved with building your social media presence. So perhaps you'd like to just share a little bit about where you're at, just, and perhaps even your website. And of course, we will include that also in the text of the when we share the video. But perhaps you can tell us what your favorite platforms are, because I
Yeah.
I know there's one favorite and one that you do, because that's where people find you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I like Instagram, and Mary Jane is helping me out immensely with Instagram, and all the wonderful, beautiful visuals and pictures that that you have put on there. And yeah, I think I like Instagram because to me it's very artistic. I mean, I know there's a lot in Instagram. There's videos and all kinds of things, but I also like taking pictures and just kind of just going about my day, whatever I'm doing, walking or just out in nature, just taking pictures, and somehow the words come to mind. Again, there's the words, they're always in my head, but kind of words that go with the pictures.
Mhm.
And I like putting those on Instagram, and they're also on Facebook as well. And so yeah, and then my website, which is beautifully done by Mary Jane, of course.
Thank
And
you.
well, it is
It was
beautiful.
Thank you for the plug, even though I wasn't really
No, but it is. I have to give you credit because it's beautifully done. And so yeah, and it's fun because it's all, I mean, I have never really been a social media person until I became an author. And I mean, I was expecting just to sit in a little room and write all the time, and that's all I had to do. But I learned. And so in order to really have people read my books, which I want them to do, because I think that reading my books will help them. So yes, social media is something that I've been learning about. I've been learning. So yeah.
when do you expect your next book to be coming out, the second in your trilogy?
I think probably in a month.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. It's that
Yeah.
close. Wow.
It's very close.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Very close. So I've got a few people that are helping with, I mean, it's just amazing what goes behind putting a book out. But yeah, right now I've got a proofreader looking at it, and then my publisher is kind of doing things with somebody else that's working on my cover. And then I'm having to come up with just different words to describe the book, so I can put that on Amazon and the other places that I'm going to put my book. So
Exciting though.
pardon me.
It's so exciting though. It's very close now, so
Yeah.
it's always good. It's always good news. So yeah, we'll definitely please share in the group when your book is released on the Success Story Wednesdays. Share, say, hey, it's
Yeah.
coming out, when you have
Yeah.
like a definitive date, because I feel like for people to sort of see what people are up to, because it doesn't matter
Yeah.
big or small. They're all achievements to me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
still,
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's been the last, I've been working on it for a couple years, so it's really exciting. And yeah, and so all the characters, Hank and Miranda and Justine, and there's a few other characters too. They all have their struggles, and they're all, pursuing their dreams, and there's all kinds of relationship stuff going on, mother daughter, and of course some romantic relationships going on too. But behind it, there's that thread of my characters that are pursuing their dreams and the struggles that get in the way of doing that. So
And
yeah.
and then also in the comment section, we should pop the Amazon link to her current book, to the one that's already available, so that people can
good
take a
idea.
look. Yeah, take a look and buy it in some format, whether that be hard copy. I'm still a hard copy reader. I'm still
I
like
am too.
a book in my hand
Yeah,
reader.
I am too. In fact, I've got a lot of books, like, yeah, on my bookshelves, and it's overflowing. It's always overflowing. I mean, yeah,
Yes, and I also have the pile that I buy that still needs to be read.
yes,
Because
yes.
I
I have
can't
that pile
I
too.
can't I can't stop myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, and it sounds really good. And in the meantime, I'm reading another book or
Yeah,
whatever. And all of a sudden the pile gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
yeah. It's the
Yeah.
backlog of books that just, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's always
Yeah,
something to look forward to, right? And that's
it
what it's
is.
always, something to
Yeah,
look forward to. You know it's there waiting for you, and you just know that you're going to get something of benefit from that, no matter what it's the
yeah.
context of it is. So that's very cool. But I want to thank you, Liz, for taking the time
Yeah,
just
you're
to
welcome. It's
share
been
with us a
great.
little bit about what you do, and um anybody listening to the recording, I really hope that I encourage you to reach out to one another and see, there's no harm in reaching out to somebody and having a connection call with somebody, because you just
Mhm.
might find somebody that's really you feel connected to, and it's just a learning experience for everybody, growth
Yeah,
growth
yeah.
experience. So I encourage you, and yes, we'll look for Liz's details. We'll pop them into the comments of the post. And thank you again for being with us today.
Thank you. It's been fun.